Not since the year 2004 has there been a Spider-Man movie this good. I was fortunate enough to get an early screening of Spider-Man Homecoming, which is a new Spider-Man film co-produced by Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures. Marvel Studios had full creative control for the most part, and then Sony Pictures was the one that forked up all the money. And I can just say I'm very glad we finally got to see a Kevin Feige visioned Spider-Man movie, because this was fantastic. From the get-go, a pitch of a Spider-Man movie that's a coming-of-age film in the MCU has always really spoke to me. I'm like, that sounds incredible. Which is really what we got. We got a John Hughes Spider-Man movie, but there's also some fantastic action sequences. There were multiple shots where I'm like, oh my god, it reminded me of How to Train Your Dragon, where there's some really cool flying sequences. There are even some shots in Man of Steel where Superman's flying around. There were similar shots in this movie where I'm like, I just love seeing Spider-Man just fly around. But let's just be honest, the main star of this movie is Tom Holland as Spider-Man. He kills in this role. We all saw him in Captain America Civil War last year where he was absolute dynamite and everyone fell in love with him immediately. We get a whole movie of him this time and he's just as adorable and charming and he's just everything Peter Parker is, and I love it so much. He just loves being Spider-Man so much, and he just wants to help people so much. It's inspiring. I will say this movie is not as inspiring as the first two Raimi films, which are two of my personal favorite movies I've ever seen. So this is not my favorite Spider-Man movie, but it might be my favorite MCU movie. I don't know. I have a few very minor gripes, most of them spoilers, but there's just I'm like, oh, I don't really like that. And then just 2 seconds later, I'm laughing at a joke. Or 2 seconds later, I'm like, oh, that's a really cool image, and I just don't care at all anymore. There's only one very, very, very minor thing where I'm like, could have done without. I didn't really like that. Does it really affect the movie as a whole? No, not at all. It's just I don't know. Also, the supporting cast of this movie is fantastic. Michael Keaton as the Vulture is actually no, he's easily the best villain in the MCU, I think. He's really interesting as a character. His motivation makes sense. He's menacing. And you actually kind of care about him a little bit, or you more as you see where he's coming from, and they add extra depth to his character that is really nicely interwoven into Peter's story that makes you go, why can't all Marvel villains be this strong? He's not just some force that's so distant away from Peter. He's actually involved in his story, and it's so well done. I love Michael Keaton. He's just oozing screen presence. Every single time he's on screen, I'm like, damn, Michael Keaton's back on screen, and I love that man. I also thought the female characters did a great job in this movie. We had Liz, played by Laura Harrier. I thought she did a great job. Michelle is played by Zendaya. I love Zendaya back from her Disney Channel days, and I thought she actually did a really good job in this movie. Her character was not what I was expecting, and every time she was on screen, I was laughing. I'm like, she's really good at this. The comedic tone that Marvel movies have really worked with Zendaya's comedic chops, and I feel like she was a great casting choice. Peter has a best friend played by Ed, and his dynamic with Peter is really funny. Almost every time I was laughing at their jokes. So the whole humor in this movie. Props to the writers and director John Watts, because the humor, hardly any jokes don't fall. Almost every joke I was laughing at, my friends were laughing at. Especially as someone who just left high school 2 years ago, I could relate to Peter so much and so many things that just getting ready for the homecoming dance, that's so relatable, and it's done so tongue-in-cheek and so genuine. It's just so well done, and I loved it. Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, loved her. She's great. Not only is she very attractive, but she's just her chemistry with Peter Parker is fantastic. Robert Downey Jr. completely owns the role of Tony Stark. He shows it once again in this movie. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Maybe as minor gripes, not as inspiring of a movie as I'd like for a Spider-Man movie to be, which is why I prefer the first two over this one, the first two Raimi films, that is. But that's not the worst thing in the world, because what it gets right is characters, humor, action. All three of those things are pinpoint, nearly perfect. And that's really all I could ask for from a Spider-Man movie, just to fully engage me, have me care about every single character, have me laughing. It just didn't really have me crying, which is why it's not my favorite Spider-Man movie. One thing that I thought was going to be kind of annoying at the beginning is just how much it references the rest of the MCU. It really beats you over the head at first, this is a new Spider-Man, this is not Andrew Garfield's universe, this is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'm like, I'm not sure, that might get annoying. But no, it really doesn't get annoying. It's just like at first you think it might get annoying, but every single callback to a different MCU movie is just so well done and interwoven to the story, or it's just really funny that they're referencing that I had no qualms at all. Avengers exist. It's just really interesting seeing how a group of high school kids react to like a world where the Avengers exist, and we get to see that, and like it's just so well done. I love these high school comedy movies, so mixing that with one of my favorite superheroes in Spider-Man was just a match made in heaven. I think the first two films are better than this, first two Raimi films, but this is a very worthy entry into the Spider-Man franchise. This is the best movie we've had in over a decade. I would highly recommend everyone go out and see it. It is such a great time at the movies. I'm going to see it at least like 3 more times in theaters after this. I have to wait 8 days to see it again because I saw it early. First world problems. I can't wait to see it again. I'm going to see it again Thursday night. Oh, it's going to be so good. I gave Spider-Man Homecoming a 4.8 out of 5. I loved it. Go see it. I'm going to see it multiple times. It's so good. Ah, great. Guys, I loved Spider-Man Homecoming. I can't wait to see it again. I can't wait for you guys to get a chance to see it. Please comment below what you guys think of the movie after you see it, or what you're excited to see in the movie. Follow my Twitter at Dylan Mikkonen. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video. And I love you all, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.